What's going on, everybody? Godzilla McCone 2000 here. Okay, I know it's been 4 months since I did, and let's go to Extus. So it's been 4 months since I last, did this. I'm sorry I thought y'all were losing interest. Okay, so we're gonna start on Chapter 6, Extus. And I'm doing this at 1:30 in the freaking morning. In the brief instance before the transition between Entropy and Extus, I was hoping that I would get Godzilla and Anguirus back. As the board appeared, I saw that my wish was half granted. I had Godzilla back, but no Anguirus. I would have preferred both, but despite Anguirus' neat abilities, I would have chosen Godzilla if I had to pick between the two. Okay, here's the map board. Wait a minute. What the fuck? Why is King Ghidorah? Why the fuck is King Ghidorah right there? King Ghidorah's not supposed to be there. Oh, that's not Ghidorah. That's not King Ghidorah. Extus had two different colored temples, white and pink. A pyramid, what looked like some modern buildings, and two other icons I couldn't figure out at the time. The new bosses were Kumonga, Gorosaurus, and not Ghidorah, whom I was dreading to see, let alone fight. I know who the fuck that is. That's Chimera. It's basically a thing. It's a boss made of a whole different body of different kaijus. Not kaijus. With Godzilla back, I was excited again and eager to explore, yet still cautious. I went to the quiz level first just before, just as before. This time, Face's questions were more random than ever. Quiz 4. Do you like, do elephants breathe? Yes. Random. You know what? I'm gonna start skipping the quizzes. I know, honest to God, that's part of the creepypasta, but this second question right here. Have you ever been molested by a family member? I'm gonna actually skip all this shit. I will give you guys time to read these for yourself. Now, have you ever raped anyone? No. Is green your favorite color? No. In real life, yes. Actually, a lot of colors are my favorite color. Is the computer the pinnacle of technology, of modern technology? Yes. Why is he giving a weird face for? You know what? Yeah, fuck the quizzes. I'm gonna skip them. Wait, what? Do you hate raccoons? No. In real life, yes. They carry rabies, just like rats. Would you like a new monster? Yes. Surprised. Will you miss me? Yes. I was happy that I was getting a new monster, but that last question bothered me. Will you miss me? Is space referring to when I finished the game? I thought, since the revelation of the game's truly otherworldly nature, I wasn't sure what to think. a face or anything else in the game. But something about that last statement gave me a genuine feeling of sadness from face. Let me poop. You know what? Bring my face back up. No, don't stop stream. Jesus. As I was thinking about this, the game had gone back to the board. I had a new monster, but I had no idea who it was supposed to be. The sprite had a slight resemblance to Rodan, but the head was totally off. I moved this mysterious newcomer to a white temple icon and started the level. When I started the level, give me a second. Oh my god, the screen. Oh. Y'all can't see, but oh my fucking god, it is so small. Now I'm starting to see why they say it's mostly made for vertical. But with vertical, I cannot see this shit. Y'all are literally gonna have to zoom in. Y'all are gonna have to zoom in when you watch this video and other videos like this from now on. When I started the level, this screen appeared with the text, "Find the gem," presumably instructions for beating the level. After that, I got my first look at my new playable monster, a hairy, dark blue creature with bat wings and a skull-like face named Solomon. I also found my path was blocked by a beam of light and a small pillar with a plate on it. I figured that this beam of light was blocking the exit, so I have to find the gem and drop it on the plate to deactivate the beam. How exactly I was going to do that, I didn't know. There wasn't anything in the original game requiring you to find an item to beat a level. I'd have to find out when I obtained the gem. The only direction I had to go was left, so on I proceeded. Solomon was an interesting monster, to say the least. He was capable of both flight and a heat beam, both of which proved to be very useful. He could also do kick and slash. He could also kick and slash with his wings, but he couldn't duck. The White Temple's music was a vocalizing choir or a video game approximation of such. It's hard to describe, but it had a very holy sound to it. Well, those are some interesting characters. Looks like Red's starting to run low on people. Bet that one was me. It wasn't long before I started running into waves of strange new enemies. They did little to stop me. I ran past them while slashing and didn't take any damage. There was a pause between each wave of enemies after you had killed about 10. There wouldn't be any for about a minute. Then the next wave would appear. After 5 minutes, I noticed holes in the floor and ceiling. Oh yeah, guys, I just learned that Chapter 6, Part 1 of the NES Godzilla replay is actually made and was read out today or yesterday as you seen this video. So basically, when I get done with this series, when I get done with the first NES Godzilla read, I'm gonna wait for the replay, all the replay episodes to be out, and then I will read that. Guillotine mouthed creatures were rapidly flying up and down these crevices, so I had to time my jumps carefully because I didn't know if I'd get another shot at this. Luckily, I managed to get through without a scratch. I'm just lucky, I guess. Oh, there's the boss. Yep, that was me that was watching this. Don't make sense, but hell. After that, after I found myself at the end of the hallway facing some kind of mini boss monster. It moved fast and had it moved fast and had some kind of projectile that it shot in 4 directions. But I killed it quite easily using Solomon's heat beam. When the battle was over, I had my gem, which was inside the creature's head. Oh, I scrolled down too damn fast. I found that I could pick up and hold the gem by walking over to it and holding down B. I made the long stretch back to the start, deposited the gem on the plate, which deactivated the beam. I left the stage and was shown that I left the stage and was shown what was probably the strangest quirk relating to the Solomon monster. Still the best, 1973. Every time you complete a stage or defeat a boss with Solomon, this screen appears. I have no idea what still the best, 1973 means. Neither the date nor the phrase has any meaning or significance to me that I can think of, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. The next level I played was one that I call Bronze Pyramids. I used Godzilla and found he had been leveled up to 12 since I last played as him in Dementia. Ants, bugs, Godzilla, pyramid. Normal. Human size, not human size, but giant human sized bugs and ants. What the hell do they think they're gonna do against Godzilla? Nothing. The bronze pyramids were fairly normal as far as these levels go, but the visuals were quite interesting, almost unusually colorful and lively. The music had a fittingly Egyptian style to it. It was slow and mysterious. It was slow and mysterious sounding. Sorry about messing up so much. I haven't read this series for so long. I've been more busy with other shit. I'm just gonna do this. I strolled through the level fighting off various enemies. None were too difficult, although the ants could be a pain if you ran into too many at once. My favorite enemy was this giant reptile I encountered halfway through. That looks like a mini version of Godzilla, but it's light green, has no dorsal plates, and I can tell don't fire no heat atomic breath like Godzilla. At the end of the level, I came to a giant pyramid and I engaged in yet another mini boss fight. Although this one was a bit different because I had to fight two of these monsters at the same time. Individually, I could have dealt with them easily, but fighting both of them at once was challenging. But I sped things up by tricking one of the twin beasts, into barbecuing his brother by jumping when he uses his flame breath. Hmm, aren't these creatures alive in the game? After defeating the twin monsters, I noticed something strange after returning to the board. I was now able to move my monster piece anywhere on the board without limits. Normally, Godzilla could only move 3 spaces each turn, and Mothra could move 5. Don't know why I'm being too damn nervous. I wanted to try out Solomon some more, so I moved his piece over to one of the brown pillar looking icons with colored dots and started the level. When I got to the level, I then realized what the level represented: totem poles. I was greeted by two of them right at the beginning. The music had a Native American sound to it. It seemed to be using the same instruments as the entropy forest. It was noticeably different, but just as foreboding. Jeez. Give me a minute, guys. Yes, I'm holding the piece with one hand in my. I walked around for 3 minutes with nothing else in sight besides the totem poles. I didn't realize it until then. I wasn't expecting another level with nothing alive in it. After all the activity and entropy, walking by all those multicolored faces, this unnerving level left me feeling like I was being watched. Only about 10 minutes after I started Extus, I was already halfway through, and after getting back from the totem pole level, I tried out one of the TV screens to see how strange they were this time. Quack quack? Even more strange than before, apparently. The music was the Uranus theme. I switched back to Godzilla to play another level, and this level was quite a surprise. It was a normal city level. The colors were gloomy, but even still, this was quite a shock. This was the kind of level I would expect to see in a Godzilla game, and I was kind of mad that I didn't get to play it earlier. The music was the Earth theme. Can't hold that damn thing. I'm tired of it. Stupid rubber. That's literally what you would do if you were in a Godzilla game. What? Laser tanks, jets, helicopters, tank. Wait a minute. Tanks, masers, jets, helicopters, buildings. Classic Godzilla shit. How long have I been recording? 22 minutes. Not bad. I found it strange that a level fitting a Godzilla game would show up this late. But there's no point crying over spilled milk, I suppose. I moved Solomon over to a grayish green icon, which turned out to be a giant high tech laboratory of some sort. Ugh. Lots of mechanical drones in this level, but lots of mechanical drones in this level. But Solomon cleared through them just like the White Temple enemies. The music was a gritty industrial beat. There was also a strange flying cyborg enemy, which was annoying because it would fly away when you jumped to attack it. Also of interest were these large stasis tanks holding some kind of monster inside. As you would guess, um, sometimes the monsters awaken and shatter through the glass. I tried to get past the stasis tanks as fast as possible because proved to the monsters inside proved to be vicious little bastards upon release. Oh, that bastard. At the end of the level was an elevator which I used to go down the bottom level where the exit was. Along the way, I was shot at by security drones. I couldn't leave the elevator, so my only defense was the heat beam. The last level type was this simple thing I call the Heart Temple for obvious reasons. I hate those little fuckers. And I didn't mean to tap on the image. I did not expect to come back to reading this shit so nervously. Probably because I'm reading this at fucking nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. Nothing but a halfway filled with floating enemies shaped like human hearts. Oh yeah, I charged this old phone, guys. Alright, what was I saying? They're incapable of causing you damage, so what you do is run through the level, smashing as many as you can. to get all the power ups. Once you one run through these would get the life meter back up to full, and I would greatly appreciate these levels later. The Heart Temple's music reminds me of a circus tune. It had an overly cheerful sound to it, which gave the level a really weird feeling. Having seen all the level types, I chose to fight Gorosaurus using Solomon. Gorosaurus don't look bad. Give me a moment, guys. Doing something. Okay. Gorosaurus looks great. The music for this fight was Gazora's theme. It was during this fight, that I realized Solomon was overpowered. A single well-aimed slash can take down as many as 4 of the enemy's health bars. Yeah, I know it says life. But I said health. Blood. Due to this, the fight was over very quickly. Gorosaurus had no projectile attacks or anything else that could match Solomon's deadly claws. But I kept the fight going just long enough to see if Gorosaurus would do his iconic kangaroo kick, and I was greatly pleased when he did. What the hell? Hello? Hey, you promised review Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I was hoping to do that. Alright, guys, so bye. The fuck? That's just great. That's a creepy. I don't feel right now. I don't feel that was creepy. Okay. I hope that was not red. That was mimicking me. Even though I knew Solomon was my fighting ace, I used Godzilla to battle Kumonga just for variety. I briefly considered using Mothra, but of course Godzilla won out. Why is this table wiggling so much? Well, Kumonga don't look bad. Kumonga was also a simple opponent. No. I was about to get a phone call from freaking phone guy. Hell no. You can piss right off with that shit. I ain't watching no damn animatronics. Oh yeah, and guys, we are seriously in the month where Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out. Oh yeah, and I tried calling the number that they can find floating around on. I'm gonna still call it Twitter. I don't care if it's called X. I'm gonna call it Twitter. Anyway, I tried calling it and I keep getting static. So I'm like, is the animatronics fucking with me? Oh, no. Oh well. Commander was also a simple opponent, no heat beams or anything. He attacks by jumping on you, stabbing you with his mandibles. And also uses his signature webbing stream to paralyze you. Once you get webbed, Commander will sometimes take the opportunity to attack. But it's mostly a way to buy some time. Like a Zora, backing you in the corner until the time runs out. His music was Hidora's thing. That don't look right. What the fuck? Guys, listen to this just to shut this guy up. What? I'm not an employee. Shut up. Good fucking lord. Don't you guys just hate that when you randomly just magically get a call? When you don't want to be bothered, you like get one of those annoying spam calls. Mine just happened to be. With Gorosaurus and Kumanga defeated, I was at the end of Extus before I fought not Ghidorah. There was something I had to do. I wasn't expecting much from the documentation. I wasn't expecting much from it. I wasn't. Uh, I wasn't expecting much from it, but for documentation's sake, uh, I take a look at the other TV screen. This is what it was. Faucet head. Okay. I don't think there was ever much reason behind the TV screens. If I were to guess, I'd say it's some random, uncontrolled manifestation of the cartridge's abilities, or maybe, all this makes perfect sense to the game. Who knows? Anyway, Mr. Fawcett's theme was the Saturn music. It was time for the opponent I had been dreading, not Ghidorah. Although I had gained courage with Solomon's combat advantages, I was still nervous. And when I started the fight, I was immediately confused. My opponent was not Ghidorah. I defeated the imposter with a few strikes, and then not Mogira appeared. And then, blech, then it made sense. In order to get to not Ghidorah, I had to battle all the previous replacements first. And battle them I did. I tore my way through them until I finally made it to Nakador, who was a Dorat. Once I stopped laughing, I destroyed him with 2 slashes. The music stopped, and I thought I was going back to the board, but the battle wasn't over yet. This is what I mean, Chimera. This motherfucker is powerful. The real fight was against the Chimera, a monstrous hybrid of all the replacement beasts. This was, by far, the most difficult boss yet. Every attack of his would cut down a whole life bar per use, while attacks against him were greatly weakened. Solomon's Slash, for example, was now lucky to take away one half a life bar. During this battle, I gained a great appreciation for two things: the boss fight time limit and the heart temple. Had it not been for those things, I might never have beaten this boss. To take down this behemoth, I came up with a strategy. I would switch between Godzilla and Solomon. As one began to get dangerously low on health, I would take him through the Heart Temple while fighting Chimera with the other. I should count my blessings that Chimera couldn't regain lost health. That's like Gigan's rotary saw to the face. Ow! Poor Godzilla! A very interesting thing about Chimera was that the colored sections on his body corresponded to his different body parts. So each body part effectively had its own life meter. The head was invincible as long as the other body parts were present, and would always be the last part to be destroyed. In addition to being difficult, it was also the longest fight so far. I tried to remember how many times I had got taken out of the fight by the timer, but I lost count around 13. Eventually, I had destroyed all components but the head, which now flew around on its own at an incredible speed. Chimera fought well, but I was extremely determined, and once he was reduced to a head, he no longer had the power to defeat Solomon, and I keep beating him into oblivion. Let me get right. Okay. and the chimera was no more. I was exhausted after that drawn out fight and worried that might affect my performance in the end world chase level. The headquarters icon was replaced, but not by the Hellbeast face, instead, by a crucifix. I was completely stunned. I wasn't excited about seeing the Hellbeast icon again, but if there was only one good thing about those levels, it was that they were predictable. I had a basic idea of what to expect, but now here I was at the end of, and the icon was completely different. What did it mean? And why a crucifix? It made me very uneasy. So I attempted to start the level with Solomon, but I couldn't. I got this notice that simply stated, Solomon can't enter here. It didn't say why, but I think it maybe has to do with Solomon's demonic appearance. Since Solomon was out of the question, I went with Godzilla instead. Once I saw the level, the crucifix made sense. The level was a graveyard. I was still on edge, thinking this was some kind of trick. The last level had always involved running from the demonic beast, and I wasn't going to be fooled into thinking this would be any different. So I started running, but after a minute without interruption, I slowed down. It was during this time that the music caught my attention. I knew it sounded familiar when I first heard it, but it took me a while before I realized it was what it was, an 8-bit rendition of Prayer for Peace from the first Godzilla film. A very sad, powerful song, even in this form. At 2 minutes into the level, I encountered something that I wasn't sure how to react to. I know who the hell that is. Boop. That's Melissa right there. The first in My first instinct was to run, but this blue statuesque being simply floated in place, and I felt compelled to just stare at it for a time. This was a grave, and it was floating over a chapel. I guessed that this was some kind of angel watching over the deceased. It gave me a strange but warm feeling. I wouldn't say happy, but I felt that I was at peace somehow. I had never seen this being before, yet it seemed very familiar to me. Just as I was going to leave, the Hellbeast appeared, and its presence warped the music into a terrifying, discordant screeching and transformed the level, desecrating the tombstones as a new ground appeared, comprised of blood soaked bodies. Whoa. See, the reason why I don't linger on these images too long is because I don't want that fucker literally looking at me in my dreams, because then I'm gonna have nightmares. Don't tell me to run. I could feel my heart now beating out of control. I had no chance to escape with the hell monster that close. It lunged for the kill, but the angel got in its way. The demon roared and started clawing through the angel's leg, and tears of blood streamed from its eyes. This fucker's gonna die, I can guarantee it. I wanted to save the angel, but there was nothing I could do. I had to honor its sacrifice and run. And so I ran through the hellish landscape as fast as I could. The beast soon caught up with me, still swallowing the body of the angel, whose legs who had torn off. And this sight made my terror change into anger. I now found myself hating this horrible monster. There was no doubt in my mind that it was pure evil, and I wanted it to die. When I got to the end, I remember how it responded to my insult in trance. I spoke to it and said, "You're gonna pay." This was its response. I had no idea how I would follow up on that threat, and nothing could have prepared me for the horrors of the final world, Zenith. So, that was chapter 6. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry if it's zoomed out so much. You're literally gonna have to zoom in. Sorry, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, this has been Godzilla McComb 2000 signing out.